everyone! Today I decided to make a video about my first roommates. I had two roommates that were my first roommates, and that was a pretty shocking experience. So I thought, why not tell the story? This is a pretty long story though, because I do tell you, in this first part, I tell you my first impression of them, and on the second part I tell you a few of the things they did for me to eventually leave the house that we were living together in. So yeah, keep watching and you'll hear what my first encounter with these girls was. I've had roommates a few times in my life, and they were for different situations. But my first roommates ever, I had become a flight attendant and I was hired by this company, and the company would give us a place to live. In that house, I would have to share the house with another two flight attendants, and each one of us had our own bedrooms, but the common areas of the house we had to share. So this was my first time having roommates ever. So I'm pretty excited because I have just moved into this new country, and it's my first proper job, and I had just turned 21, and I had worked before, but it was like little jobs, and this one was the first one with a contract. And it was a big deal, and I had moved across oceans, and yeah. Anyways, so I'm pretty excited, I'm pretty happy, and I arrive into the country, and the company takes you to the place you're gonna live. So the company drops me off after they give me all the papers and all the explanations of what I have to do next, and then I finally get my keys and I go up with all my bags and all of that. So imagine the mess, right? Anyways, I open the door, I come into the house, and the first thing you see when you open the door is there's like almost like an octagonal shape hallway right in front of the door, which is kind of cool, like as a first entrance piece. And right there was a little table right in front of the door, and there was a lampshade, and there were like a few things on it as well, like decor pieces on it as well. And so I look, and there's a piece of paper on it, and as I look at the piece of paper, it says, it's a handwritten note saying, "Hi, we are your new roommates, and right now we're not in the house when you arrive, but we would like to ask you to move out as soon as possible, because we are planning to have one of our close friends stay in the room that you're staying in, so please move out as soon as possible." And then signed their names. And I was like, wow, what a welcome. That was just like, I had just arrived to that country, I had just flown many hours, I was tired, and the first thing I see as I walk into my new home, it's a note saying move out. So I was like, oh, alright, well, I understand they want their friend to move in and whatever, so, and they just putting it out there as soon as possible, because it's probably easier for me to find a new place to move to as soon as I arrive. So I thought, I gave them the benefit of doubt, and I thought, okay, well, maybe they're not trying to be mean, and they did say please and all of that. So they didn't say welcome and anything, or like introduce themselves or anything. And because I knew they were both flight attendant, I knew that probably what was happening is that they were both flying at the time that I would arrive. So I understood they wanted to get it all displayed of what they wanted right away as I arrived. So I didn't really mind that. It was a bit of a shock, but I didn't really mind that. A big bathroom with a bathtub and everything. And this was the bathroom that I was supposed to share with one of the girls. So I didn't have a full bathroom for myself. One of the girls had a full bathroom in her bedroom, so she had her own thing. And I had to share this one big bathroom with this one girl, which so far so good. I didn't mind. So I went in, I looked around, and I realized what a mess. The bathroom smelled weird, and there were like all these products spread around everywhere, so there was no space for me to put any of my products, any of my shampoos or anything. I couldn't put anything of mine because it was just full. And I thought, okay, well, maybe she didn't have time to like give me a little space so I can put my stuff in, so it's alright. I'll talk to the girl when she gets home. The next door that was directly in front of me after the bathroom was my bedroom. And this bedroom had a balcony, right? And the balcony, it was directly connected, but the door the window door that would separate the balcony from my bedroom, it didn't have a key. So it was just a matter of whoever went into the balcony from the living room side, they could very easily get into my bedroom. Now, keep this in mind because there'll be a part 2 to this story. So I go to my bedroom. I love my bedroom. It's nice and big. It has a nice big closet. It has a nice big bed, and I thought, that's awesome. So I put my bags in there. I walk out to look around the house. There was an entrance into the living room. And as I walk in, I see all these little statues of like men. They weren't really men, but like figurines with a heart on. So with their dick exposed and a hard on. And I was pretty shocked because one of the things we signed, when I signed my contract, one of the things it specifically said is that because this was a company's house, and because this country was kind of conservative, certain things weren't allowed. For example, sexual related things exposed, and yeah, so there were quite a few things, and sexual ornaments, let's put it that way, were not allowed. And the first thing I see is that this house is actually full of ornaments. There wasn't one little statue that was in the living room that maybe could have been like a native Indian statue thing. No, first of all, it wasn't a native thing. It was very much a actual man exposed, and it wasn't one if the house was full of it. The living room did not only have statues, but it also had vibrators around, and posters of men posing completely naked. So yeah, it was really weird. And I got over the living room. I was like, okay, well, I'm definitely not staying in this living room. So I go into the kitchen. See, okay, well, how are things in the kitchen? And the first thing I look is the fridge, and the fridge is full of magnets, all sexual related things. Were the magnets? So I thought I was gonna see like countries magnets, right? We're flight attendants. But no, I saw all sexual related Kama Sutra things. And to make it worse, the magnets were holding a whole bunch of postcards of sexual things. Either men posing or Kama Sutra positions or anything. Anything that you can think of that is sexual and extremely exposed, that's what I saw. And it got to a point that I was like, oh my gosh, this is, am I in a whorehouse? Are these girls that slutty? I still try to give them the benefit of doubt. I thought maybe they were really interested in these kind of things, or they studied that, or you know. So I felt really uncomfortable, and I knew it was breaking the rules of the company, and I said, well, I'll keep quiet. I'll just go to my room, I'll fix up my room, unpack and blah blah, and whenever the girls arrive, I'll ask them what's what, you know. So one of the girls arrive. She's in the kitchen, so I hear her. This was quite a few hours later, so I get out of my bedroom to say hi to this girl. So I still have no idea who she is, what her name is. I know her name as a theory, but I knew two names, so I didn't know if this was this one girl or the other girl. So I go into the kitchen, I'm like, hey, I'm your new roommate, and she looks at me, all serious. She looks me up and down, analyzes me completely, and then she just stares at me and says, hi. You have read the letter, right? And I was like, yeah, I did. And then she looked at me. Okay, so you do understand, right? I was like, oh, yeah, sure. I have no problem trying to move out. I just don't know who I have to talk to, what I have to do. But if you know how to go through with it, just let me know, and I'm gonna try to get out as soon as possible. And she's like, okay, cool, because we want this house to be comfortable, we want to be with our friend. And I was like, yeah, I understand that, I have no problem with that. And then I just looked at her, because I was so shocked with this reception again. So I looked at her and I was like, sorry, but which one of these two names are you again? And she's like, oh, I didn't introduce myself to you, did I? And I was like, no, you didn't. Oh, my name is... I'm gonna give her a name. Lena. Let's put Lena. Okay, my name's Lena. And I was like, okay, hi Lena. Mine's Paula. And then she was like, yeah, I know. And then she just like walked away. She just left me there in the kitchen and she walked off and she went to her bedroom. And I was like, oh my gosh, what did just happen? So yes, my first experience with having roommates on the first day, it was just, this story with these roommates is pretty long, so I thought part 1 now, and on Friday I'm gonna tell you part 2. What is part 2 made of? It's basically what they did to me until I left, until I wasn't their roommate anymore. So come back on Friday and see part 2 of my terrible first roommates. If you like this story or find it weird or whatever, give it a thumbs up, leave me some comments letting me know if you have any experience with weird roommates like mine. And yeah, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, and I'll see you on Friday. Bye!